Good morning, Nicholas.
Hey, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Start of Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial beginning of summer. Do you have
Uh,
plans this weekend?
well, I'm already in summer. I feel about it because my kids are actually out of school and I'm in France today. Actually, I brought my kids to France for a couple days so they can enjoy and get time with their grandparents.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Are
I
they
know.
excited?
Oh, they're like thrilled. Like, yeah, it's they my parents have horses, and so they are all around the horses and the duck and the chickens and the goats, and like they're in the farm, and so this is like the most amazing place on earth, and they love it.
That's great. That is wonderful. That is excellent. Well, we got a lot to talk about. I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, why don't we start?
Okay.
All right. All right, everybody. This is Nico with Easternly, the company that can get you live stream and video commerce on your website, social media, across different platforms. So excited to be here, and I'm with my great host, Matt from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. We have a lot to talk about today, and today is a special day. It's actually, well, if you end toward the end, we will tell you why is it special. So why don't, Matt, you start by telling us why we're here today.
Yes, of course. To everyone, thank you very much for tuning in, whether you're watching us on video or listening through your podcast. This is called the Vcommerce Show. The Vcommerce Show is a live chat podcast we do each week discussing today's big topics related to video commerce. Video commerce is the storytelling platform that we discuss, which was created over 50 years ago with DRTV, then evolved to HSN and QVC live shopping, television shopping, and has evolved into direct response commerce through your TV, computer, tablets, and phones. We cover 3 or 4 of the biggest topics of the week. Hopefully, some of these topics are directly related to you or engaging, at least for you to tune in and share with friends and family. Hopefully, we entertain you a little bit, you learn something, and you have fun. So, Nicholas, a lot of news, and I know we beat this to death, but TikTok is constantly in the news. They're innovating seemingly on a weekly basis, and a lot of different things they launched this week, all related to easier application, easier customer experience, and easier user experiences. So they launched the Symphony Creative Studio, which is an AI suite to help create TikTok-ready videos, help write their scripts, help find and implement budgets, and find proper audiences under this Symphony Creative Studio. And then I saw they created what's called TikTok One, which is a marketer's discovery app. I think it's an app where it's an app that TikTok founders and marketers can find creators on. So it's somewhere, it's a home where all the creators go, and you could, I guess, cherry pick your favorite creators to support your brand. Over 2 million creators are already supporting this TikTok One. What's going on?
I think it's interesting, right? I think if you remember, like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about this website, Caro Data, right? I think which is in some way I feel is very similar, maybe not to the TikTok One, where basically TikTok has always been very transparent about who is making money, how they're making money, who is producing content, who is producing performance on the content. And so it's something you can call an API and have an understanding of this creator does sell well with this product on those circumstances. My product is about similar. I should be working with those guys. Or this creator, they don't sell well with my category. I should not even bother with going that, which is something that, it's an information you can get from the Instagram of the world, or like the with these other platforms. Because TikTok is giving you all the data, I think it makes sense that they are making it even more accessible to the merchant, because it's actually quite powerful to know out of the gate what you can expect. It's powerful from the merchant, but also very powerful for the brand, because for the creator, because the creator might say, okay, if you know that your friend that is a creator has been able to generate X amount of dollar through transaction of sales, you might say, hey, I want to be on the transaction of sales too. And I think it really help out for the transparency. It really help out to everyone get good revenue across multiple places, and they're all feeling better about this whole experience. I think it's a great thing. The AI piece is also very interesting, right? AI has been the topic of the year, and everyone is doing things. The fact that they are really helping you in the content. What I think is very fascinating to me is that it's something that you and I, we talked about, with the blueprint, creating the blueprint, thinking about how you go into the show. It's not about just showing up and doing your thing. It's about the preparation. And what that app does is really helping you with that, which I think is fascinating, because it does show that, yes, you can be on TikTok, you can have sales and audience, but you still need to prepare yourself and do something good.
Yeah, what I read was it's a tool to refine scripts and advise for best practices. So that's
Crazy.
really, I'm not sure how they know your business that well through AI, but again, I'm the old guy in the conversation, and I don't know where this AI dynamic's going. The TikTok one, I think, is really amazing, because it's been, when you look for talent to represent brands in my world of video commerce and home shopping, it's often finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
What's the best person to represent the brand? What's their background? Are they authentic? It's sometimes challenging. So if they've got a pot to pull from in a 2 million creator puddle or whatever pool, I think it's amazing. It's amazing for both sides. So these innovations are great, and obviously TikTok is not slowing down.
No, certainly.
With all the governmental talk about shutting them down.
Well, and more than slowing him down, right? They continue investing on their platform, but also internationally. Well, the news of the day is like TikTok Shop expanding in Mexico, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. They're already inviting merchants for testings. And we have to keep in mind that in 2024, the platform was expecting to generate 50 billion in GMV and host around 15 million sellers. So, they are aggressive. They want to do this. They want to move on, and they want to move the needle. So I don't think they're gonna, it's not congressional status in Washington that's going to prevent them to have their global ambition driven. And so it does show that.
I saw just yesterday. We've talked about it with QVC. They call it the age of possibilities, where they're focusing on a female 50 years or older. That's their core customer, that older demographic, that baby boomer. They have a TikTok page with over 1 million likes. So even though they're focusing on this older customer, they're acknowledging that there's an audience through TikTok. So I think it's just amazing. I think any consumer, any retailer has to, just like you have to be on Amazon, you have to consider TikTok Shop as an opportunity to grow your brand. So
as Neil Twell was saying, that's the trifecta, right? He was calling it the Amazon, TikTok Shop, and then your D2C, your Shopify or Magento, Vcommerce, wherever platform you are, and it's the trifecta that you have to really today, at least that's what it feels to be the most important.
And again, TikTok Shop is only like 8 months old or something.
Yeah,
like it's
crazy, right? I mean, for the US market, right? It's much longer for the other market, but yeah, it's new to us, but it's not new to the world in some way, right?
Right. What's the story? You're going to talk about the online shopping dynamic. That continues to grow, and there's some statistics that prove it this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is a news that was reported it's a report that was done and commissioned by MasterCard. So MasterCard was, I think everyone has been hearing the story that, online e-com has really been accelerated by the pandemic. But what does that really mean? So what they done is they were looking at projection that they were doing for the past several years, and against what they were expecting to be by now, and what is actually is the latest result. And they end up defining that about the impact of COVID as of today is a 3.3% additional growth that on the Ecom side. So that's an equivalent of $375 billion per year on an annual basis. So meaning that it really means that the pandemic has accelerated Ecom, and it's going to continue growing. It's going to continue being pretty significant, but it's also today 26.3% of all total transactions are done online, which is it's a pretty big number also, right? So I don't know. I feel that this is going to continue. We are on the course here where online is only going to be growing faster and faster. And yeah, that's fun, fascinating.
Yeah. So December 2019, online sales were responsible for 18.3% of retail. At the peak of the pandemic, 25.5. Now, maybe it settled down a little bit. The story was like brick and mortar was dying in the middle of the pandemic. That obviously wasn't the case. And many companies are reinvesting back into brick and mortar, but you have to have the balance. You have to have a presence online to be relevant, to be valuable, and to give find the consumer where they are. So it's just a trend that neither one of us are really surprised about. I don't think it's just a reinforcement of we're all doing the right things. We're all trying to be as many places as we can. Having an online presence is just a really strong part of the dynamic that you need to be a part of.
Yeah, and I'm just pulling up a very interesting chart where this is the projected growth of Ecom over years, and as you can see that growth has been really steady for 2015 all the way up to 2020, and then pandemic happened, and you see this huge spike of growth of the transaction being online versus offline, and then you see that there was a slowdown, but then they have a stabilization, and the additional 3%, 3.3 is what you see between that graph and that graph. A pretty fascinating graph. We will put that in the show note, that MasterCard report. Very interesting report. There's a bunch of data there. Really fascinating. But something you were saying, Matt, that also is kind of related to the news of the day, of the week, actually. While we're talking about the growth of Ecom is also going back to brick and mortar. I mean, not all of them, but Wayfair just announced that they were opening their first physical store in Chicago. And the CEO was saying, well, this is a realization that people want to see the physical stuff. And so I think it's really this, I don't think there will be a world where everything is going to be digital. I think it's not the death of brick and mortar. There will be a place where brick and mortar have a function and Ecom will have a function, and maybe some other market around that will have another function. But it's really the combination of those two that make the whole retail experience bigger and fat and better overall. So I found it interesting that the giant Wayfair decided to open his first store.
No, I'm happy about it. Personal interaction is, is kind of paramount to happiness, and I like the balance. I like the balance of the brick and mortar versus the online. One of the other stories I wanted to talk about, which is not news to anyone that comes from my background, but it's the conversion of upsells. The article I read was upsell conversion can offer a 30% lift in revenue. So, the old adage, you want fries with that from McDonald's is like, you order a burger and it comes with fries. You're buying a blush and you might buy a lipstick. If you're buying the flour, you might buy the pot that the flour is in. And the old thing, and I think this is before your time, but when I was reading this article, I was thinking about pork chops and applesauce. Pork chops and applesauce, that phrase has become popular ever since the Brady Bunch, which was a 1970s sitcom in the U.S. Pork chops and applesauce, like peanut butter and jelly, all these kind of things. If you're selling the peanut butter, then you sell the jelly. If you're selling the pork chops, then the applesauce comes with it. Upsell conversion up 30%. So from our point of view with Vcommerce Dynamics, whatever you're selling, if you're selling a blouse, what accompanies the blouse, it could be jewelry, it could be the pant, it could be a hat, it could be sunglasses. If you're selling any of those other things, then you throw in a scarf or you throw in a jacket. And I'm just talking about apparel. Makeup the same way, skincare the same way, almost anything in the kitchen. If you're selling a pot, you're using a spoon to ladle, or a ladle itself. Upsells are very, very streamlined in our world. And, it's kind of gone up and down, where we used to really focus a good amount on that upsell. And then the popularity of it, or the popularity of highlighting it within a presentation, has waned. So I'm really happy for this 30% bump across the board through Ecom, because it's an important dynamic, and it's we call it non-airtime sales. You just mention it, and you're not focusing on it. You're focusing on the main product, but a simple mention and a simple use of the product can give your sales a really nice lift.
And it made me think about what's happening with certain fashion boutiques and maison out there, fashion houses, sorry if I should say it this way, which are doing runway, and on that runway they have accessories, and really everyone is talking and focusing on what is the most important, which is the wear, and like what they're wearing, like the fashion dress, or like what the trousers they have. But the accessory are really selected on purpose, and really have they're really part of that whole dynamic. They're really highlighted in certain ways. They are typically shoppable as well. So I found it very interesting, right? So and some of those big accessories brand are paying big bucks to actually be on those stars. And I think we all recall the story around Human, that was this AI pin that I think it was a couple last year, when they were introducing. What they did is they partner with I think Christian Dior, like one of those big fashion house, and those people were wearing the device during the runway. And so I think there's this notion of the accessory. Yes, it's not the prime time element that you want to talk about and focus on, but it's very important in the whole picture, and this is something you want to pay attention to.
I know NBA conference finals are happening right now. After the games, after every game, there's a press conference. And one of the recent press conferences, there was a couple players on the platform, and they had a Prime drink in front of them. Prime is not an NBA sponsor. So you saw a guy's arm creep into the shot, grab the Prime out of the shot, like literally took it off the three players. They start laughing. They knew exactly what was happening. They weren't supposed to have that Prime bottle in front of them, in front of the microphone. That's how important an accessory is, or an upsell is. A subtle mention, a subtle vision of a brand name or a product ignites sales. So I'm loving this. I think anyone that's in the video commerce space should consider utilizing upsells to greater accelerate their sales.
And often we talk about Amazon on the show, and when you think about Amazon, they are and Netflix as well. Actually, as a matter of fact, product placement in some of their movies is very popular, and it's very deliberate, right? Like what car they choose, what equipment, what housing gear or anything. It's all in purpose, and big brands are paying big bucks to be seen on those things. So. In a way, it's also those product placement is part of the scenery in some way, but they are important driver of sales for many fronts. So again, it's all about like, what do you do with the eyeballs, and the eyeballs will always not focus only on you and your product that you're presenting. So sometimes give them a diversion by showing something that can benefit you with upselling.
I agree. Before we go, I wanted to give a shout out. Cabrini College, my alma mater in Wayne, Pennsylvania, right on the main line, about 5 minutes from Villanova University, closed last weekend. 67 years of education. It closed, kind of a bittersweet moment for a lot of the alumni and certainly the kids that were graduating. I was able to be a part of the event last weekend. It was amazing seeing people from all ages, from the older generation to the younger generation, all celebrating the school. Met my best friends there. Lou and Tucci are part of my small crew, and I met my wife there. So I owe Cabrini College a lot in my personal life. My brother went there. It's a big family thing. They had Kylie Kelsey as their commencement speaker. who is Jason Kelsey's wife. Jason Kelsey, the famed center from the Philadelphia Eagles. His brother's dating Taylor Swift. You know that whole story. Kylie went to Cabrini many years after I did, but she was a commencement speaker, gave a beautiful speech talking about the history of the school and her dynamic and her experience with the school. So 1957 to 2024, 67 years, Cabrini College. I salute you.
All right. Well, great shout out, Matt. I do have not a shout out, but more an announcement, I will say. So we have decided to take a little break for summer, and we will be back in July, sometime in July. Exactly the date, exactly we will be doing that is not quite pain on the agenda yet. There's a lot going on in June, a lot of travelings, and summer is here. Obviously, there are some holidays and there are some trade shows, and we all try to make the most of it. And so we've decided to take a little break, give you a chance for you to have a little break. There's already plenty of content we've created. So if you want to check it out, go to the live e-commerce podcast. That is available on any of the podcast player, and you will see some of the content Matt and I created and some of the interview that we had before as well. It's also a way for us to actually start recording more content and being able to select and take time to interview more people for the season free for the live e-commerce podcast that will start in July. So we're super excited what's going on. So we're not going definitively. We'll just be out for a couple of weeks. So that's the news on my side.
Yeah, it's been this show is really fun. It's a lot of fun. Our audience is really growing and engaging, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of people I know, close friends and not so close friends, about the show. And I love it. I have fun with it. You're a great co-host, and I'm excited for a little bit of a break, but I'm also excited to, start season 2 in the middle of the summer.
Absolutely. And Matt, like if anyone wants to reach out to you, how they can do during this break of
that's great. Thank you, Nicolas. So Matt at e6marketing.com, e6marketing.com can help you with QVC, HSN, or other live streaming platforms. That's what E6 Marketing is all about.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to me, it's Nicolas, Nicolas at eStreamly.com. You can always reach out, share your thoughts, share who would be a great host. If you just have a question around live shopping, video commerce, we'll be happy to help you. And obviously, if you're a brand and wants to get into the space and develop the technology for your site, or going into video commerce, into your own existing marketing strategy, we would love to chat with you. It's been a great season 1, Matt. It's been fantastic working with you on that, and I'm so excited and thrilled to start season 2 very soon.
Nicolas, enjoy your time off. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.